Tell me about when you first met Kevin.
When I first met Kevin, it was 2016.
1997.
2019.
2018.
My first experience with Kevin Gordon was in 1983, as I recall.
You're digging deep. That was, wow. I don't know.
And it was the first year of the Sargent Academy. Wasn't really sure what I was going to do, so I had some pretty big nerves, not knowing what to expect.
I started as a laborer. We did the first Home Depot in Bangor. He was running the project. Back then we didn't have quote-unquote superintendents. They were called working foremen, but that's what Kevin would have been, was a super.
He's very curious. He wanted to know a little more about me, and you could see that he was willing to work with me if this is something I really wanted to do.
Felt like he truly wanted to see everybody succeed in what they were doing.
He and I were laboring together over in Essex Junction, Vermont, on a really, really deep sewer project. Kevin and his brother Doug were there. And I remember we'd all work our tails off all day long. And then after work, most of the rest of us would go drink beer. And Kevin and Doug used to go play basketball one-on-one for like 3 hours after work.
Certain individuals behave differently on Kevin's job site. He set a level of expectation and held people accountable in a way that I had not seen before.
He takes as long as you need or anyone needs. Very, very hands-on, right by your side. Doesn't expect you to know everything.
I realized right out of the gate that it didn't matter what you were doing with Kevin, whether it was driving grade stakes or shoveling, everything turns into a competition. Always. He also taught me to mentor and teach. That's really something he entrusted in me a long time ago.
He was an absolute workhorse, and he outworked every single one of us 18-year-olds.
Kevin took the time to truly show you how things should get done.
After we started the business, Sargent, I was working to try to get some curbing in the ground on a side street, and we were really busy on the site that we were working on. And I went to Kevin and I said, man, I cannot find anybody to come put this curbing in. And he said, well, that makes it clear then what we got to do. And I said, what's that? He said, we got to run a light plant. And what we'll do is we'll put curbing in on the site during the day, and then we'll work at nights putting curbing on the side street. And I said, wow, that's leadership. You learn a lot about people when you get in a home with them. And I learned a lot about him then. Not as much obviously as I do now, but I knew that the guy was one of those people that you would never want to let down, that would never let you down.
I think it'd be very safe to say that anyone that's ever worked around Kevin or been near Kevin has been mentored, whether they knew it or not. And he'd always say, even when I was young, that there's always a teachable moment. And when I was young, I was like, what the hell are you talking about? It's always a teachable moment. But as you get older, you realize just little things.
Once he meets you and has a little time spent with you, he can see your potential, even if you don't see it. And when he sees that potential that you might not be giving it your all, or you don't even know that you have that potential, he brings it out in you.
I think he cares about the person. I think he truly embodies what it means for a company to care.
If we didn't have our own core purpose and values, I'd say have Kevin write down his, and we'll use those. Because it's almost like the Sargent way and the Gordon way are twins.
By starting that academy and getting people's foot in the door, that's going to show for a long time what he's invested in these people.
And if there was ever going to be a book written about Kevin, one of the chapters would have every one of those core purpose and values in them.
I think he hits every single one, guaranteed. I don't think there's a single one that he misses.
That's Kevin's purpose right now, is investing in people and making them better people at work and at home.
Are there any funny stories you'd like to share about Kevin?
No, sir.
Nothing I really want to say on camera.
I remember not being able to rake very well in the SCA, and I thought I was doing a great job, and he told me I was making holes. Took the rake away from me, and he's like, here you go, you can measure how much pavement we're putting down with this ruler, and I'm going to rake.
You probably would want me to tell, but that when we were working, I'll go ahead and tell it. When we were working on At curbing, we're working all night, every night, and then during the day, and we did that for like 7 days in a row, and we'd get like 2 or 3 hours of sleep. And I remember, I think it was on Sunday morning, we're trying to position a piece of curbing in place, and I think Kevin bumped it, and it pinched my finger, and I said, "You keep doing that, I'm going to kick you in the balls." And he said, "You don't have to do that, I just stepped on it, because they're dragging pretty low right now."
There's one thing I picked up from him. It's always have some working hands in your lunchbox. I swear he could do a commercial for those guys.
He was stern, but he was always extremely fair. And in the end, we always had fun. At coffee break, whether a little baseball game would break out, or lunchtime, or quitting time, or whatever, there was always something fun to do.
I mean, I wouldn't be here without him, without the academy. You know, I could have just been hired as a laborer and thrown to the wolves, but what he does gets people ready for this kind of work, and like I said, I see it firsthand and appreciate what he does.
He's a great mentor. He's mentored me from 18-year-old that had no idea what excavators were to now a foreman that runs his own crew.
And there's all these people that have come up under Kevin over the last 12 or so years. As those people continue to populate the company and the management ranks and operator ranks in the company, we're going to see Kevin Gordon alive in this company for another century.
If you had to put a name to who's invested a great deal into the people of this organization, it's Kevin. If you had to put a name to who constantly focuses on honing their craft, it's Kevin. He never settles. He's a guy that he'll never take the result of today and hold it up as the best we can do. He's never done that. He'll say, "Great, we had a great day today. Here's what we did. What are we doing tomorrow?"
Does Kevin deserve this award?
100%.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
If we had to pick anybody to set the standard for this award, he's the one.